Despite having an LED lighted switch, this hallway tends to be pretty dark. But what if we could take this receptacle and make it into a nightlight? Well, in this video, we're going to explore that with the Legrand Radiant 15 amp tamper resistant nightlight outlet. First thing we need to do is turn off power to this. So I flip the circuit breaker on it. Then I come with a tester, which I've tested on a live outlet, so I know this is actually working. And then we probe both sides. And the reason we probe both sides is, you know, if somebody made this so that this one was switchable and this one was always hot, I need to know that. So at this point, this says there's no power coming into this. We're going to take off the plate cover. Then we're going to pull out the receptacle, and then I will test the wiring one more time just to make doubly sure. With the receptacle out, I check, make sure there's no power. And I also check inside the box, and we are good. So, first thing I note is this is white, so this is the neutral side. So I want to make sure that this lines up the same way. We have neutrals here. The difference with this receptacle is that the ground is on top, whereas on this one, it's on the bottom. So I'll just have to be conscious to make sure that that wire goes up towards the top when I disconnect everything. But note how everything's feeding this one so that you match it up to this. The black wire, which is the side that carries the power, is on the right-hand side. It also goes on the right-hand side on the replacement switch. So now we simply unscrew the wires on all sides, release this receptacle, and then just replace this one. We have two options with this. We can either use, these have like a shepherd's hook, which is like, basically it's hooked like this. So we can do that with this terminal, or this terminal also has a clamp, this little piece right here. And so you can actually stick the wire in straight and then clamp it down into position. I will probably just go with the shepherd's hook because that way I don't have to redress this wire. I released the ground last. We have our wires, noting that our ground's going to have to go on top. I just move that into position, and we just simply go neutral with the white terminals and the load, which is the black, on the copper looking terminal. And I'm going to go with the top terminals. Do note that the shepherd hook wraps around clockwise so that as you tighten the screw, it's being brought in and tightened down. If you bring the shepherd's hook in counterclockwise, then as you tighten this screw, the shepherd hook is going to loosen. So the correct way is to wrap it around clockwise and tighten clockwise. And make sure you do that for all screws that are holding wires. So how tight do you make these terminal connections? Well, it's going to be a lot more than just snug, but not so much that you break the internal components. Go past snug, and you'll feel that there's just high resistance, and at that point, you can stop. I like putting a little bit of electrical tape to cover the contacts so that nothing is exposed. It's not mandatory that you do this. It's just a personal preference. Now we're ready to push this back into the outlet and then reattach it to the box. Then we can put our cover on it. And just a tip, when you're putting in these screws, they don't have to be in really tight. They just need to get this unit flush with the wall so it's not protruding out or it's not crooked. So it doesn't need to be super tightened down. As a matter of fact, if you have a little bit of movement, sometimes that helps to line up your box. In this case, it's just snug, and I think we're going to be fine. And that's the look. I still have a little bit of room. These are held in place by a spring, so it's kind of nice. You really don't have to try to thread these and have them fall off on you. And if you feel that it's not going in right, like it's too tight, then back it out and rethread, because it should go in fairly smooth. I like to line up my screws so that they're going in one direction. Some people like horizontal, I like vertical. So now we're ready to turn on the power and see if this unit works. With the circuit switched on, we're ready to test this nightlight function. There's low, a little bit brighter, brighter still, and the brightest. And then there's an off mode. So now I'm going to leave it here because I think that'll probably work best for when the lights are out in this hallway. Here we are in our dark hallway, and if we go down, we can see that there is light coming from our nightlight that is lighting up this area, thus making it a little bit more safer to go out here when we don't have the lights on. In addition to having several modes of light level output, the light itself will turn off if it's bright in the room. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about this. Is this something that you'd be interested in? Don't forget to join the subscription team. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching.